Here we go. I looked around the instrument room, took a moment to take it all in. I felt like a giant cave. I've always loved caves. There's something about that closed-in feeling. It's somehow both crazy and mysterious, sheltered and surreal all at the same time. This room had exactly that vibe and piled everywhere like the riches of Aladdin's lamp, where all the old instruments, the trumpet, the sax, the cymbals, the bass drum, passed from one generation of school kids to the next, all lying about in a clutter, barely organized, waiting for their next temporary owner to lug them home on the bus. Then I saw it, the violin.
So I got a little bit of OCD, my friend, and I'm going to ask if we could put that not on the rug, but in here.
Of course.
So you're going to be on the couch.
Yeah.
Is there anything to set up as we're doing this?
I mean, it just depends on if you want, like, something or,
Yeah, I'm going to want stuff. I'm going to give this guy to you.
Oh, nice. Great. Even better.
What do we need? What cables do we need?
I guess you just need a quarter inch or something like that to get in there.
Okay.
I have a 10% rule in my life where I might feel strongly about something and very certain about it, but I'll always leave a 10% chance that I'm wrong.
10% chance you're wrong, huh? I don't know if I'm sure I've been wrong.
Sometimes you can be right in the moment and then wrong later.
We'll be right back.
Scoop-doo, blabbity-blue, scoop-dee, oh yeah!
Check.
Check
one, two.
Yes.
You want to take an edible with me?
Yes.
Give a little free plug to my favorite Kiva.
Oh, I love Kiva.
Kiviaco.
Absolute fave. Reggie, you can have as much as you want, but tell me what
I'm
that
gonna
is.
do 10.
10, okay.
It's should be 2 pieces, right?
Yep.
I haven't had.
Here's 10 and some change, my friend.
Oh, thanks. I haven't had Kiva in a while. It used to be really big. Now I'm doing Level, which is like
It's a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand. It's these guys. I do like molecular extracts.
You want to put it up by Arnold Schwarzenegger to give him a little plug?
Yeah. There you go. Here you go, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Take a plug for that.
Yeah.
I won't forget it.
Okay, let me check. Let me do a little level check with you here.
Okay. Check 1, 2.
Can I hear you do the national anthem for a
Zoom
second?
recording. Oh, say, can you see by dawn early light
By Don Early Light?
what proudly see last star gleaming?
So you don't know the national anthem?
I never did.
Most people don't.
I do an impression of it, but that's about it.
Hey, you know what? I feel like that's what the world is doing with everything these days.
It's certainly true.
I'm hearing some things that I'm not loving.
What?
And I can't quite tell yet.
You're hearing like traffic a little bit? Well, there's something running.
You know what?
What is
Figured it out. This episode is sponsored by, Iris, what's that picture frame called again? That cool digital picture frame?
It's got a key.
That's right. And right now, Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day.
That's right, Iris. If we act quick, we can get the perfect gift for mommy by going to auraframes.com/TYSO. And guess what? We save $30
Plus,
Free shipping.
on their best-selling frame.
that's auraframes.com/TYSO and use code TYSO at checkout to save.
Terms and conditions apply.
That's true.
Uncle Rick, I want you to come with me.
You're not the only one, Iris. Let me tell you something. Back in the day, Rick was on the rise. He's now arrived. He's probably a top 5 comedian in LA and a top 10 nationwide. And anybody who has a chance to see him has to see him or they're betas.
Why do betas get such a bad, why is that such a negative thing? What does that even mean?
Because you just let the wave hit you instead of just like being the wave.
I don't know if I agree to that. I actually have 35 minutes on betas. I don't. But if you want to see me do stand-up, I will be in Vancouver June 5th. Guess what time?
Bedtime.
That's right. 8 p.m. at the Biltmore. Wait, after I say Biltmore, keep it. It's fine. There's a jump cut at the Biltmore. Cabaret. Vancouver, you want to see me do stand-up? 8 p.m., or as we like to call it,
Bedtime.
8 p.m/bedtime at the Biltmore Cabaret. Ticket link is in the description. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. You have to do this as a comic. Tickets are selling out fast.
Oh, you better hurry, but there's a couple left if you go
Yeah,
to the
there's
link.
4 tickets left.
So if you go now, you'll get them, right?
Yeah.
If you want to see me do 45 minutes of that and 15 minutes on beta stuff, head on over to punchup.live/Rick Glassman. That's punchup.live/Rick Glassman. And also sign up for my mailing list so you get to find out when I'll be in your city. Hey, Iris, when I'm in your city. See you there, Vancouver.
Oh, yeah, the ambient mic's open.
I keep that open. I keep that on for like the stuff that was happening at the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
so
right.
we could get some of that. Put up some subtitles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I like. Oh, that's
right.
good. All right, we're back.
It was good.
But this time it's personal.
You know, as an actor,
Yes.
a lot of times I'll be doing a scene and it's like, if I ever feel like, all right, we got to do this one, you know what I'd like to say? I like to say to me and my co-stars, I go, all right, this time it's personal. Kind of pumps me up to say that.
It does, because it's like this one's you got to do. This one's for real.
Yeah.
This one's worth it.
Yeah.
Finally.
Which is just a decision that we have to make sometimes.
You're right about that. God damn it.
So we don't know each other very much. And by we, I mean, I don't think you know who I am, and I've been a fan of yours for a little bit. And I'm in a little bit of a silly mood, but I'm also very calm.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm asking for permission or just disclosing.
Yeah.
But just like, I want to just be able to say anything and just be comfortable that you could set your own boundaries.
Yes.
And if I want to ask you something like, so, you from, and then you can be
Right.
like, and then it's like, oh, he's being disrespectful because he asked me about something serious and then he did something else,
I wish. I don't think I've ever done. I've probably done over 3 podcasts at this point in my career, and I don't think I've ever.
This
had
ain't your
any
mom and
issue.
pa's podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Maybe it'll change today. Let's talk about it.
Your parents don't own this podcast.
Oh my God. How fun.
But I would like to get into more interview stuff because
Sure.
I don't normally do that.
Yeah.
But I also don't have enough prepared. So could we just go
Great.
through the motions of it until we
Sure.
find the pocket, and then it could be, then we could ask some real stuff. I'm just going to go through some stuff, and can we just kind of do interview things?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm going to be really I dated a girl a while ago, and she once thought, this was years ago, you have to believe me.
Okay.
And she thought I wasn't listening to her
Okay.
while she was telling me stuff. And I was. And I said, how could I show you that I'm listening? And she wanted more of
indications.
She wanted, what do you call that?
Indications.
Indications.
Yeah.
I think of it now as call and response.
Oh yeah.
So I sometimes do that now, but it always feels really silly.
Yeah.
But I also find that if you're going to be really genuine and engaged and interested, you have to do that. So I want to try that with you. I want to try to be so engaged. Feel free to answer sincerely. Feel free to make it up.
Okay.
But I want to work on my interview energy.
Okay.
Reggie?
Yes.
Reggie. So you got into comedy because, you know.
Well, I did, and
Right.
it wasn't my call. It just happened.
God made it happen.
Well, a series of gods made it happen.
How many gods do you believe in?
Anywhere from 0 to infinite.
Are you a spiritual man?
Yes, I would say I'm spiritual. Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Oh. Well, thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you later.
Asking questions is a tough thing, dude.
It's weird. It can be weird.
Yeah, asking questions when the format requires it or the conversation requests it.
Yeah.
Do you watch Love on the Spectrum?
No, I know of it though. I think it's people are different issues, psychological, mental issues are kind of dealing with commonalities of real world tactics by third world generalists.
No.
What?
It's a reality show about really tall people dating really tall people. It's finding somebody who's tall like you.
Okay, well now I'm not interested.
Well, you'd love it.
Okay.
There are third world people as well. And one of the things that they go through on it is finding common interests and how important that is. Not because it's important to have a common interest as much as, ooh, now we could talk about something.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? And that's an interesting situation because it's very specific. So yeah. So,
and I learned tools like that growing up too. Things like that were helpful for me. Like there's certain questions to ask just to make other people feel more comfortable, but it's almost masking yourself because I'm not interested in any of that. Yeah. The only thing I'm interested in, the thing I'm interested in most in is bits.
Yes, of course.
I really like bits.
Bits are great. Yeah.
But doing long form podcasting and meeting people with bits, sometimes it goes like this.
Yeah, really. I mean, again, bits are very specific, and depending on who you have, I mean, you can kind of tell immediately.
I agree. But I bring this up because what you do with this doesn't feel like anybody cannot connect. Everybody could connect to that. Music and like performing as a musician versus comedian. A musician, it's I don't know. It just feels easier for people to connect with you, and you get to do both.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, because if things aren't, sometimes I guess some people could be like, oh, it's kind of hack or whatever. But like my responsibility is to keep the audience engaged. So
what would be, without judgment, what would be the thing that they're saying is hack? Just because you're using a prop?
Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, oh, well, he's just going to do some music. It's like, that's so easy, because like, who doesn't like music or like a beat or something that someone like. So I mean, it was like, I don't think that anymore. But now, I mean, I think of it for myself as an advantage.
I used to feel that way. I bring a puppet on stage.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to get it too into it.
Yeah.
But I used to feel that way a little bit.
I wonder if I've seen clips of you doing that. That sounds really familiar.
Here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've posted some stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But the question I have for you is, because connecting with bits is very, very fun. This is something that is not very easy to do interpersonally. You have equipment. It's like you can't be on a date and then just pull that shit. I mean, you can, and you probably do.
Yeah, maybe.
And I advise it.
Sure.
But do you feel a safety in that you struggle that doesn't translate when you don't have it? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. It's interesting because for me, I think for instance, every time I do a lineup show, and I do tons of them like every week, like at least 2
lineup shows when there's multiple comedians.
Yeah.
You gotta let the people at home know.
Sorry.
Not everybody's Jewish.
Go to camera 8. So basically, like a lineup show is like there's a host, someone's throwing a night, and they'll have like.
You could look here too.
Oh, okay. Camera 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 and 8 are yours. 7 is mine.
Okay, great. So basically, the lineup show is like.
Sorry, I don't want to keep cutting you off, but since you started there,
maybe just should I go back to that? Yeah, okay,
just saying,
gotcha.
Moving forward.
Okay, copy that. So basically, it's like you've got an idea for a show. You want to get some friends together, some other comedians, and it's a lineup. Everyone gets 10 to 15 minutes, and so you get a variety show for an audience person. But what's interesting about that is I never bring my stuff with me. So I'm always just talking. And sometimes people will be like, should I have a DI for you? And I'm like, no, don't have a DI. Because my rule is it has to be over 20 minutes for me to bring music.
Is that because it's worth the setup, or because you need to have a certain amount of time to build this? Because you can't do a 10, 15 minute set.
No, it's not that. It's just convenient. I'm lazy. Right. So I love the idea of just getting out of my car, watching 2 or 3 of my friends go up, and then I go on and just go up like any other comedian and just get on the mic. I just think it's also a little bit more liberating to just have the microphone, because when you have this on stage, people are like eyeing it, going like, when's that going to get used?
Craig Robinson uses a piano.
Yes.
Piano is on the stage. He always likes to close out the show.
Yeah.
So the piano is on the stage for everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like by the time he gets up there, people don't even know that anyone's going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody with my gear up there.
Right.
It's my gear. No, I mean, I don't know. It's just my thing. Plus, stand-up comedians aren't going to do it. And if they do it, they're going to do like a bit thing that's like not really interesting. Maybe it could be interesting.
Wait, what do you mean? With this?
Yeah. Wow. It's very angry, whatever that is. Motorcycle. Yeah, I mean, like with this. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've had people mess around with the looper for sure. But I wouldn't have like my full setup. My full setup. This isn't the full setup, but if I had the full setup, I don't really would like anybody messing around with that.
I just listened to your episode on Conan Needs a Friend.
Oh, yeah.
And also today, the Sona episode for my podcast just came out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dating this now.
Oh, nice.
These won't be out for a little bit.
Damn it.
But I didn't know before that you weren't born here.
I was not.
And we don't need to get too much into this. You watch the Conan one, but you traveled all over the place.
Yeah.
Military.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with why you seem so calm? Because your performance is energy, man. You know? And then but when you're not doing that, you're sitting in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that about?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I'm actually, now that you're asking, it's the first time I've actually tried to think about why that is. I think it has something to do with I get satisfied in getting to express who I am and what I do on stage enough that I'm pretty chill. And I think also I've had a lifelong relationship to marijuana, which doesn't guarantee someone's chill, but it definitely puts you in a mood where you're kind of more receptive to what's happening in the moment, and you can kind of relax a little bit, you know? You don't have as many hyper-focused anxieties necessarily. I know it can work the opposite for some people, but for me, it makes me feel very chill, like kind of the stereotype of marijuana. So I think that has something to do with it. But I think I'm also just predisposed to just relaxation and trying to keep things chill. I do love if I'm at a party and there's energy, I love joining in and then being a person who creates more energy or adds to it for sure. But generally when I'm hanging out, I'm pretty chill. But that's probably why a lot of my Zillennial friends always love coming over.
Does that mean Gen Z?
Yeah, like Gen Z, but millennial, whatever, hybrid, Verge, whatever, or just Gen Z friends. They'll come over. They just love to hang out because my house is really chill and I'm pretty mellow, and so I think for them they enjoy that environment. So, but
because they're not chill.
Well, because it's just there's so much anxiety, that a lot of younger generations are experiencing.
Because of Biden and Trump.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you could put that on there. Because of everything, man. Everything that's coming at us 1,000,000 miles per hour constantly every day. That we were never built to handle that much. Humans aren't built to handle this much bandwidth.
I don't know, man. I feel like I was built to handle that much bandwidth. Biden-Trump stuff, I mean. Oh,
Biden's Trump stuff? I mean... Yeah, but it's all kind of basic stuff. I mean, that stuff. But I'm talking about the environment. I'm talking about right-wing elements and fascism kind of on the rise everywhere in the world, and all the conflicts that are going on and all the divisiveness and people picking sides and really holding hard to those sides and being unreasonable and not thinking critically. All of these things are constantly coming at us in ways that we've never experienced before.
Well, because you didn't grow up in a particular place, you may not have experienced this. But people I grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Boy, are my arms tired.
My dad's from Cleveland. I spent it many summers ago.
Do you know where?
He was born in Akron, but
shit.
But they moved when he was a little boy. They moved to Cleveland, and and I used to go every other summer to Cleveland.
Do you think we were ever in the same restaurant and you maybe I went to go wash my hands and you went to maybe either you wash your hands, or I don't know if you do cocaine or take peas.
Yeah.
But we were in the same bathroom with each other?
It could be, but I'm probably a little bit older than you are, so I don't know if that
Do you ever remember being in a bathroom in Cleveland and seeing someone like this?
No. So
Okay, you remember me?
No, I would have remembered that.
Well, Cleveland folk
Yes.
have a real strong distaste for the Michigan folk because of football and sports.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not big into that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
I'm more of a, Biden-Trump guy myself.
Yeah.
But, he's fucking Michigan. Fuck Michigan. People wear shirts. Fuck Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's that's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, sure, but it's a little bit more, it's more grounded. It makes sense.
Well, I guess.
It's a little less
stakes.
Yeah,
It's not
well-
fuck Michigan because fuck the Jewish Michiganites.
Yeah.
It would be a little different.
Yeah. I mean, no, yeah. Well, I mean, maybe there's some of that. But even that is kind of that's understandable. The politics because we're always looking for somebody to hate. Everyone we love rivalries. Like me growing up in Great Falls, we didn't like the Rustlers. I was a Bison. There were Rustlers across town. We didn't like the Rustlers.
What sports is that?
Football. Football. Well, all the sports. They're all like Bison or Rustlers.
Bison are isn't that
Buffalo?
Right.
Yeah,
I knew that.
Yeah,
I could picture it.
You were
blue
saying
and red.
You were saying it. I was just saying I saw what you had in your mind. Buffalo.
You are spiritual.
A Buffalo. Yes,
Yeah.
Buffalo. Mark Buffalo. But so those were the teams. So the whole school was like, we're Bisons there. So any sports team was.
Who do you like
Bison.
to hate?
You know what I hate? I hate people that have a lot of resources that refuse to share them.
Oh,
That's who I hate. That bums me out the most. Like people and who are assholes about it, like Elon Musk or fucking Bezos or any of the billionaires. Really, they're all completely detached and they have no idea what they're doing.
I try not to talk about other people in the pod.
I'm sorry, but that's it's my life. Don't you forget?
Bon Jovi,
Yes,
the original title.
Slippery When Wet.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's my life.
Yep.
Don't you forget. It's now or never.
Yeah. It's
never
not-
forget.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've rocked 1,000 faces and I've seen them all.
Yeah. I used to love Bon Jovi.
What happened?
He fucked my
Oh.
My butt.
You could stop there. Okay, gotcha. Good.
You thought I was going to say something else.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it didn't matter. Anything. I mean, immediately I was like, yeah, I get it.
That's the only time that I understand when people hate people is if like they fucked your butt when you didn't want them to.
Yeah. Yeah, unwanted butt fucking. It's queer. It's queer that's the only thing that
I don't know. What if I like to hate stuff. I get the idea of like competition. I love to
Sure.
But like that makes like that to me is a type of connection.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for sure, but that's different. That's different. I mean, hate to me, I like to reframe it as extreme disappointment. Because I don't think hate is kind of an absolute. It's like I hate, and arguably I don't think love or hate they're not hard binaries at all. They're just kind of like shorthand descriptors. Of
Many
emotion.
people say love and hate is the same thing.
Really.
A lot of people say it.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
I don't remember why, but I think I could figure something out.
Or it's a fine line between love and hate. I've heard that.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
But to lean into the love and hate being the same thing, it's like, it's really just a projection of how we feel about ourselves.
100%. Well, we're project. We're what do we call it? We're basically like we're projectors and we're receivers, and like that's a whole world of that, and then we get confused about who's projecting and from their side and what's really yours, and
That happens to me. Happens to me sometimes, man. You ever in a relationship with somebody and then you're not in a relationship with somebody?
Yes.
And then you look back at that relationship and you remember stuff and you're like, am I remembering it wrong? Or like, maybe I could have done that different.
yeah,
Maybe. And then you're bargaining with stuff and then like, but what's real, man?
yeah. Well, I mean that's that's a funny thing because I think about that a lot with with myself, but also with a lot of friends. Like the only thing that's real is the way that you're processing and perceiving the moment, every single moment. That's really kind of the only thing. Everything else is just like you're either projecting or you're remembering, and you're and so I think that's kind of that blows me away because I'm like, oh, that's very quantum in a way.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because like, you could argue that facts are binary, but still the interpretation of them and what you remember and the idea of like every time you're remembering stuff, you're remembering a memory of it. And it's like, what's real?
Yeah.
And like, oh, I appreciate those are your feelings and your feelings are valid. I see it completely different. Both of those are real. Those
Yep.
are also two of an infinite amount of things.
Yes.
And like relationships, I'm not talking specifically like romantic ones, but just relationships in general work if you're on a similar frequency and for whatever reason you guys see colors the same. Because if your realities are so different all the time, it's just you're not going to be able to connect. And then I get real bogged down with like, the way I see this, though it's fair and accurate, there are so many other things. I'm missing so many perspectives.
Yeah.
And I get depressed sometimes because of it. Like you
Yeah.
got to explain what that means.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that a lot. I mean, there was was it? There's some kid. He was like, he goes into like conservative places and like, interviews them, and he got this guy basically to kind of concede to his point of view about, I think it was Ukraine or something like that, where he was taking the kind of Trump line or the conservative line of like, whatever, screw Ukraine for these reasons or whatever.
Because they're gay and Jewish.
Yeah, because they're gay, Jewish. Yeah. They're Jewish. But this guy at the end, after he kind of just laid it down, he was just like, well, us investing in Ukraine, however you think about the military, this is just me describing the interaction, but like us helping Ukraine helps us potentially avert us being drawn into some kind of a conflict or whatever, and so it's kind of a large return on investment or something. And the guy was kind
ROI.
of the guy was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. It was just really nice. And then at the end, the guy says, he's like, well, it's like, thanks for, I know we don't agree on everything or whatever, but it was really great that we were able to talk about this. And the guy was like, absolutely, absolutely. And I started to cry because like, those are the moments, like I'm like, everybody's connected in some way. And like, we're so hypercharged in our like little echo chambers that we're ready to fight and not really listen in any way.
Yeah.
And that's what bums me out. Like when I'm watching videos of like, I try not to, it's tough, but we love conflict and so drama and all of these things.
You're going to talk about watching Reacher?
Competition? Oh, well, Reacher doesn't count. Reacher's very one-sided. It's just like, I'm a large man, I'm smart, nothing's going to stop me. Cool. I like to see that.
Love. But go on.
I'm like, please keep doing that. But like, yeah, it's funny. It's just like when I see those connections, because I'm from Montana, so when I go back to Great Falls, I run in, a lot of my friends are kind of conservative-ish. I don't have like any extreme conservative friends, but I've had conversations with people that were very like anti-BLM. They thought they were a bunch of like, terrorists, and thought that Antifa were like all terrorists. They're just like very obviously where they get their news from. And then I had this conversation about like, well, let me explain this side. It's like, I'm not a BLM supporter. I'm not an Antifa supporter. I'm not a supporter of the police. I'm just someone who likes to try to find where we agree on things and how we can de-escalate and kind of find better commonalities. And so,
that's a good ad for Kiva.
It's, yeah, oh yeah.
Just chill out. You looking at your camera?
Yeah, I was just supporting it.
Thank you.
I was supporting the ad.
Yeah.
But just looking. Yeah.
Oh.
Kiva. Oh yeah, here we go. God damn it. Be careful, please. Oh, God.
What is this?
I don't know what that is.
Sorry,
it's gross. Over. It's really gross, whatever it is.
Great Falls.
Yeah.
Fast Times, Pop Punk Weirdos, A Tale of Coming Home Again, Reggie Watts.
Oh.
I heard about this.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what the problem with this book is, though?
What?
And there's so many great things about it.
Uh-huh.
It's unaffordable because I believe it's like, isn't this like $300?
Yeah, they're $300 each.
Oh, but I was trying to set you up for you to be like,
oh,
actually, no, it's.
Oh, sorry.
You know what I'm saying? You don't watch Shark Tank.
I don't, no.
You don't like Shark Tank?
I mean, it's fine. It's just like I'm just like I don't really like the business world too much.
I can see pushing on a shirt.
It's
this is Shark Tank.
No, I
under promise, over deliver.
Oh, I see. Yeah, see, we watch different shows. I watch Piranha Bowl.
Oh, so how would they do a commercial for this for Piranha Bowl, and then I'll do
Piranha
it for Shark
Bowl.
Tank.
It's like I have this. Oh yeah, here. Like I have an idea for a book. And then just imagine a ton of piranhas like just jumping out of the water and attacking me.
Oh, is that a real show?
Yeah, Piranha Bowl.
And they advertise books on it?
Well, it's like people. It's like Shark Tank. Like people have inventions and things.
I'm a little late to the party.
It's okay.
I just got what happened.
Yeah.
That's not a real show.
I mean,
you're just playing with carnivorous fish.
I mean, it's a show.
There's a show in there.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You're playing with carnivorous fish, my friend.
Hey, look, I got the
Yeah. We'll animate it.
See it. Yeah.
We'll do it.
I think it's going to be great, and it's so cool because people are just like, I got an idea to solve world hunger. No one survives.
This episode is sponsored by Go Methodology.
Ooh, shit. Ooh, that's good. I love their protein bars.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even tell John what this episode was sponsored by because I wanted to get an authentic reaction, and that authentic reaction might need a bleep.
Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. That's an at-home word, okay? We don't say that at school.
Okay, so I have a food delivery service that I get. I've talked about it before. It's called Go Methodology. It is so good.
They're my favorite protein bars I've ever had, and let's just say, Iris, does Daddy have big muscles?
Yes.
Last week, I got turkey pot pie.
I need one of the pot pies.
not everything is gluten-free, but it does show, like a lot of them do. Like if you don't want peanuts, no gluten, but it was gluten-free. This turkey pie.
Sounded like you said penis when you said penis.
I did.
Oh, so there's no penis.
Some of the meals have penis.
Okay.
But most of them are either without penis or it says if you have a penis allergy. Which
great.
you do until you're 18, sweetheart. So every week it's a different menu. They have full meals or they have individual items, like when I get you those protein bars. And they deliver all of the full menus just to California right now. But they did open up nationwide this thing called a reset program.
That sounds cool.
So the nationwide version has a 4-day reset and a 5-day reset, and it doesn't let you pick individual items for the menu. It's prepared, but you get to choose between a meat and seafood version, a seafood and vegan version, a meat and vegan version, or just a vegan one. Also, the menu is entirely free of gluten, dairy, refined sugar, and seed oils. And trust me, that don't mean it ain't delicious. The food is incredible.
Yummy, yummy.
Go to gomethodology.com and use promo code TYSO for 10% off your first order. Also, I have a link in the description. This episode is sponsored by Aura, and Aura has great deals for Mother's Day.
Mother's Day? When's Mother's Day? We have to get something for mommy.
I have an idea.
A picture.
A picture?
Okay.
That's actually not a bad idea.
How's she going to see the picture?
So Aura Frames happens to be something that when they came to sponsor me, I got excited because it's something that my parents use. It's a digital picture frame.
Is that the one that was named Best Digital Photo Frame by Wirecutter?
And Iris, guess what else it was selected by?
One of Oprah's favorite things.
That's right, and it's also one of my parents' favorite things. So here's how it works. So my parents have this picture frame set up. It's stored online, so like there's an unlimited amount of pictures that you could have. And what they do is they just upload it to the app.
Right.
So my parents will be sitting there, and then all of a
That's so
sudden there's
easy.
a new picture that just like comes up.
I think we have to do that for mommy, but also for grandma because she misses you, and we can just upload pictures of you. What do you think about that? Does that sound cool?
Iris, it's really easy to set up. It takes 2 minutes. Do you think that's too much time to set up?
No.
No.
Wait, how do you count to 2? What is 2 minutes?
1, 2.
That's so fast.
Now, this is a little bit, maybe I shouldn't say this about guys, but guys traditionally don't like wrapping up gifts.
Oh my gosh.
Well, every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag, so you could save on the wrapping paper.
I love it.
Right now, Aura has a great deal for
Mother's Day.
listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting
auraframes.com/TYSO.
to get $30 off plus free shipping on
Their best-selling frame.
that's
AURA.
frames.com/
Must be TYSO.
and use code TYSO at checkout to save.
I love you, Mommy.
Iris, what's even more important than loving mommy?
The terms and conditions apply.
That's right. Terms and conditions apply. Could you think of a real life situation where someone would say to somebody as an analogy, you're playing with carnivorous fish? Kind of like when people would say you're playing with you're playing with fire there
Oh yeah. I think you could just use it. It's the same use.
instead of playing with fire.
Yeah. Playing with carnivorous fish there.
Yeah.
I think it's a complete easy. That's a 1-for-1. Like throw me the idol, I'll give you the whip.
What are you uncomfortable talking about on podcasts so we could talk about it and
Right.
clip it, but bleep all of it, but the reaction shots?
Oh,
But you'll have to tell me what it is, but we won't keep any of the stuff in.
would I be uncomfortable talking about? What's something? Oh, well, I don't know if I'd be uncomfortable.
Sounds like you would be.
You're
You're playing with carnivorous fish right now, my friend.
I know I am. I guess SUVs
Because of what they're doing to the planet.
because I fucking hate them.
Do you hate SUVs more than people who don't share the resources, or is it the same thing because SUVs hog all the resources?
No, SUVs are more like an assault to design and efficiency. And
Well, you're assuming that the efficiency for design is aerodynamics and not toughness and ruggedness.
well, no, I'm talking about the way they look. It's hard to find a good looking SUV.
I think all women are beautiful. I do.
Yeah, but SUVs aren't women.
What does it stand for?
SUVs, subterranean utility vehemence.
Do you get uncomfortable?
Yeah, I can get uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable when things are like Nathan Fielder, like anything.
Rick. Oh,
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I get it all the time.
It's okay. Yeah. So, well, there's a guy called Nathan Fielder, and he has a bunch of shows, and his shit
makes me really uncomfortable.
Watching it makes you uncomfortable.
Yes, it's hard for me to watch that stuff because he rides. I mean, it's very artful. He's very brilliant, and he rides a line, and I understand it. I understand what he's doing, all that stuff. But I don't like seeing people, even though they're not being technically taken advantage of. There are like some moments where that's happening, and then there are just moments where, in some of his other shows, he relies on awkwardness in such a way that, or he utilizes awkwardness in a way that I'm like, that's not beneficial for me.
Does
like,
Curb make you uncomfortable?
Curb doesn't.
Because it's actors?
It's because it's moving all the time, and it's very funny. It's like it's I mean, without sounding derogatory, like it's traditionally funny.
Do you want me to bleep that?
Yeah, could you? I don't want him knowing about it. Larry was so mad at me last time I told him he wasn't improvising. But so I mean, that's like more like that makes sense to me. Or even like The Office, right? That was like all built on uncomfortable pauses, uncomfortable silences. Like so. That's what she said. Oh, that's what she said button.
That's what she said.
Oh, is that from The Office?
Well, no.
Okay,
But
is that a bit from The Office?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Steve Carell, that was something that's what he said all the time.
Oh, okay. Because I wouldn't know about that because I only watched the original Office.
Wow.
Yeah. That was enough for me. I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And then I was like on to other stuff.
Do you want to watch The Office, The American Office?
I mean, I might at some point. I had some friends that were on it. They liked it. They liked being on it. Oh, Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution, Rainn Wilson. Yeah, I think Rainn Wilson was on a couple episodes.
That's what she said.
Okay.
So, what are you talking about? Oh, right. So because on Conan you spoke, and also it was in reference to your book on there.
Yeah.
But in Conan they were talking about you and him.
Yeah.
These guys are talking about, and Conan was also connecting with the defensiveness of comedy, and like the building it for. And yours was more specifically, you needed to get good at meeting people because you kept having to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're also, I'm not diagnosing you, but you're odd, weird, right? Like you're different.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I guess the more political term is unique. But I have a difficult time with that because by design it means one, and I feel like that's like really defining something literally. But like, I also I grew up playing Magic the Gathering, and the friends that I did have were people that didn't fit in too much.
Yeah.
And my mom would always say how nice I am for being nice to these kids, I remember. And not knowing that, or either she didn't know, I definitely didn't know that I'm one of them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, totally.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm like, no one's talking to me. These are nice guys.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't a charity.
But with becoming friends and growing up with people who are very much part of different subcultures and odd, the idea of shame was I mean, it exists in human nature, but in a superficial sense of embarrassment and uncomfortability fitting in, kind of was shedded by design because, like, they already experienced it. You callous to it. It's like, yeah, not everybody's going to like me and what I do, and that kind of went away.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for, and it's something that I am projecting onto you. It's where I was getting to where you get uncomfortable, what you get uncomfortable from, because you going out there and making such strong choices is such a vulnerable thing. People to not get what you're doing yet, and you have to be confident enough to do it anyway. I'm at a point in my life now where as a performer, I don't really get very uncomfortable. I also am only recently realizing I do avoid things that might make me uncomfortable in my personal life. And I don't have a big tool bag to deal with embarrassment. Fortunately, I don't feel embarrassed too much, but I'm also realizing, is that because I'm not allowing myself? I don't have an answer to that. This is a very new thing for me.
Yeah.
But having somebody on my couch who I don't know, who I think I've reached out to have you do this a bit now, and now you're people because of the book came out. I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah.
I want to kind of find out places where you do get embarrassed or uncomfortable, sincerely, even if you're not so much anymore, but not as a performer.
Yeah.
And that's a very specific question that you don't have to make anything up if you don't connect to it.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get uncomfortable with like, I don't know, so maybe it sounds kind of superficial, but like I get uncomfortable with like scatological humor. Like I have a lot of friends that like love to talk about whatever, all that shit, and it's like
We don't need to do it.
No pun intended. But like I just find it not really that interesting to me, and it's kind of gross, and it's hard for me. I mean, I've gotten a tougher skin about it. I still don't like it. It still makes me uncomfortable, but I can at least, if someone's going off about something, I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. You know, I'll just like they say their joke, and I'm like, cool, and then moving on.
I have many times on this podcast. We do animation.
Oh, okay.
And I and my guests, we have diet.
You have diarrhea?
We have diarrhea on each other a lot.
Oh.
So, we really do.
That's different, though. That actually is happening. It's not like metaphorical.
Right. But we draw it in for real.
Oh, you draw it in.
We draw in the animation.
But again, I think that's like...
Now I feel like I can't do that to you.
Actually, maybe not to me, but you could definitely do it to other people.
You have a little something.
Other huge things. Oh, I do have a brown nose.
Yeah, I guess got a little.
I do. I guess I do. Naturally.
You don't get embarrassed. You don't get embarrassed like outside of other people's jokes. You just never. That doesn't happen to you, huh?
I mean, embarrassed. I mean, I do get embarrassed. Like if I have a struggle with my weight. You know, it's like kind of yo-yo with weight, and sometimes I don't feel very comfortable in my body. You know, and so I will get embarrassed just for myself. You know, in a way where I'm like, I wish I didn't look like that, or I wish I would have. You know, should have been working out more or something like that. There's definitely things like that I might get embarrassed about, just like that, and yeah, or just like liking food a little bit too much, or something, or like being at a an open spread or something.
Sure, a vanity thing.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so I might get uncomfortable that way. I mean, topically, it's hard. It's hard for me to think of something because there's not anything that comes into mind like right away. That's like, that's embarrassing. Other than those kind of like dumb, superficial things. Your
music is very a free association type stuff.
Yeah,
is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Does that ever seep into it?
Oh, like the things I'm concerned about?
Yeah, like concern is I guess a broader term than embarrassed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard you like talk that kind of stuff with the music at all.
No, I mean I just don't. It doesn't occur to me. It's not really not really anything that I've ever went like, what would be really cool to talk about right now. Like Do
you write music?
I used to. I mean, technically, I do write music.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, do you like write?
Sit down and
create
like songs,
something that you would redo over. and over.
Yeah, I used to a lot more. I used to sit at and like compose music and write lyrics and all of that stuff, and or if I work collaboratively with a band or something, I'm writing with them. But now I predominantly just improvise. So my improvisations, when I do a performance, essentially is a live writing session of a song. And I think of that as writing. I mean, I don't think of it immediately as writing, but when I think about if that is true, if I write or not, that's about as close as I have.
What is stopping you from doing it and like having albums of music?
I think it's speed. For me, I imagine making an album very, very quickly, and sometimes there aren't producers that are not willing, but just capable of working that quickly. Like the first album, the only solo album I ever did, was done kind of quickly like that, which was great with this producer Steve Fisk in Seattle, amazing guy. He's worked with all the legendary Seattle bands, but he was great. I just kind of like would jam. I would riff, a drum beat.
Pardon me,
is there someone coming in?
No, I thought I heard a beep. Sometimes they turn off.
Oh yeah, like something. Oh yeah, like the cameras turn off. That was like me. Like I do a quick, basically like what I do live when I'm looping. I like lay down a quick drum beat, then I like, compose like some chords over it really quickly, and then add a bass line and do a chorus, like hook-like section, then I'll do like a quick bridge or something like that, and then I'll be like, okay, that's good for now, and then moving on, we'll do another song.
But it would be all extemporaneous.
Yes.
There's nothing you'll bring in.
No, I wouldn't be bringing anything at all. I might have like a feeling that I'm feeling, but even that can change as soon as I walk into the studio.
Yeah.
Like the way I'm feeling in that moment, I'm like, oh, I was really feeling like this kind of like hard rock thing, and then I sit down, I'm like, now I'm feeling more of like kind of like a soul thing.
When that happens for stage, you'll just do whatever you're feeling, right?
Yes. Yeah. I just kind of
That's a good place to be.
I just start fucking around and I start doing a beat, and I don't really have a feel necessarily in mind. Sometimes, but
the
most
beat
of the
is
time,
like when people draw stuff until they see something.
Yes, exactly.
And then they'll add on to it.
That's exactly the same. That's a great analogy. That's what it is. I'm just start doing a beat, and I'm like, that's cool. I'll loop that, and then I'm like, oh, what does that feel? Oh, a bass line like this.
Will you do an example of it now? Do you feel comfortable doing that?
I mean, I think it'll work. I think we plugged everything.
Yeah,
correctly.
I definitely heard the loop.
Yeah.
Do you need more room and or another tray for stuff?
No, I think I can do it. I think I'm gonna move forward a little bit, and then I'm gonna move this over like this. But then I'm gonna be on another mic, and I'm just gonna put this right here.
You can put it. It's all right.
Okay,
You can put it down.
just right there. It's not gonna move. Okay, now we're going to just. Okay,
Fun,
so
dude.
find like a
Fun.
yeah. Right, and then I'm like, oh, with a bass line. Right, and then, oh shit, I'm kind of fucked. Maybe not.
Well, what do we need? I got other things.
No, it's just that.
I got a 1/4 inch into this.
No, the problem is sometimes because I'm choosing one input. Let's see if we get check 1 2.
Push that away then, yeah.
This will work, yeah. Let's see.
You know what? Hold on a second. Could I plug that into this so we could have your beat and your vocals separate?
Sure, but I also need to record it if I'm adding stuff to it vocally. That's all. But we could just have another line, and I can just unplug this and plug it into that if you want to do that.
No, it wouldn't. It not because it wouldn't go through there then.
It wouldn't go through there, but like once the loop is set up, then if I'm doing stuff on top of it, then you would have it separate.
Nah.
If you want to do that.
I mean, I'm just thinking if we want to do some fun post effects and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I could just use this mic too if I'm doing stuff over. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough. There's no effects. But anyways, that's like an idea of what I would do. I don't know. Let's see.
And when you sing and rap, and when you're saying stuff that you're not even saying anything sometimes, which
Yeah.
believe me, I connect both as a musician
Yes.
and as a person. You're big into cadence, and that's that's really fun.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the best because you're just imitating, cadence, rhythm, texture, timing, tone, all those things. It's an imitation of. It's like a surface imitation of.
You're turning that off just for a second,
something, yeah.
because I want to. It's keeping me from being present with you for a second.
No worries.
Was that on purpose
Oh yeah.
to fade it down like that?
Oh yeah. You always got to fade.
Do you
man.
always do that? Is that a superstitious thing? That's so funny.
No, I do it like if someone, like I have friends that just like suddenly switch tracks and stuff like that. And not like I used to be a lot more crazy about it, but if I'm in my car and someone's like, "Oh, can I play a song?" and I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I just like fade it out, and then they select their song and I reset the volume.
Did that start as a real thing or as a joke? And do you do it now because it's funny?
No, I do it because it's just like I don't like sometimes when a song just suddenly stops.
Sure.
And then you just replace it with another song. It just sounds like a little lazy to me and not paying attention to the aesthetics.
I feel that way with so many things.
Yeah.
That's why that stood out to me.
Yeah.
When I don't know if you perform to people who don't know who you are anymore, but like
definitely. Yeah.
Well, then when people are like Reggie Watts and they go like this,
Yeah.
and then they just stop,
Yeah.
and there's no like this, it just shows that it wasn't real.
Yes.
And it's like, which is fine.
Totally.
Just don't do it.
Totally, I know.
There's something disingenuous about a hard stop because that means the thing wasn't real.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. I mean, I haven't necessarily like noticed that per se, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, of course.
It distracts me.
Yeah.
Not specifically this, but just when things, when you realize that something felt obligated because, we could stop now.
Yes. Right. The camera's not on or something like that almost. Yeah. I agree. Well, it's like for me, for music, like I always have to fade. Not always, but most of the time. And like I said, I used to be a lot crazier about it, where someone would suddenly switch a song and be like, ah, and then be like, what? And I'm like, ah. Just,
do you have OCD?
Okay. I have versions of it. I definitely have. I mean, I'm not like, yeah, I have some form of it. I remember my psychologist like giving me a quick tutorial or like asking me a bunch of questions because he's like, you don't have OCD. And I'm like, there's something related to it because like those types of things, not this because we're filming lighting, but like lighting is a huge thing. The way that things sound, if someone's being too loud, in a room.
You're saying sensitivity to sounds and lights.
To environment, to sound. And then there's things that I do, like, I love watching load bars. Like I love watching a percentage, like, complete. Or like if I throw a piece of tissue in the toilet, I love watching all the water absorb into it, and then I leave, because I have to watch it fully, whatever. And like, yeah, so I have like a kind of little completionist kind of vibes, I guess, for things, for sure, and. Yeah, that particular, I'm just like, I have a lot of particularities, let's put it that way. I guess it would be on the verge of some form of OCD, but it's not absolute. I can also put those things at bay. Like I can just go, fuck it, like
right away, or do you have to fade those things in bay out?
I can maybe I fade it out. I don't know. Maybe it's a quick fade. Maybe it's a cross dissolve.
Do any of these things connect to your love for cadence? And when I say cadence, I also mean rhythm, but
yeah, of course.
Do those things... Could you connect your personality and or the way you see the world to your, if not obsession, your identification and connection to cadence and rhythm?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's all creating stuff that I want to hear, that I think sounds good or is interesting.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. My question was more so doing it because you're supposed, like the
Oh, I see. No, I would never. If I'm doing something that I think is, I don't know, required like in a, I guess like kind of a cultural way to a situation, then I might do that. Or like, some people, I guess some form of code switching or something like that.
I feel it in your music. And of course I'm only projecting it, but like you'll do things and you'll say stuff and you're not saying stuff. And like, I used to do that on stage. At the time, I thought I was doing it as a joke.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, I think this is what stand-up is, and I don't know how to do it, so let me just do the cadence. And,
right.
And then you become aware of it, and you get to control it a little bit, and then, satirize it and play with it. But you do it so well. And I can't believe that is just the musicality and just... I have to believe that that's started... as something, whether like what Conan say was a defense or a need,
right?
Because it's an ability and an execution.
I think what it is that there's those. I'm definitely a people pleaser, and I've had to deal with what that means for,
that makes sense
over my life. Like to be like, how far are you going to go about that? Like how far do you go to the point at which you're kind of like. You're not gaining energy from it anymore, or even it's neutral, it's taking energy away from you, So I've had to learn how to adjust it. But I think being a people pleaser means that, and also growing up bilingual, multicultural, I'm just aware of a very large spectrum of human beingness, and I think that I became fascinated with trying to connect with as many humans, different kinds of humans as possible.
With the way they connect.
Yes.
And that became the way you connect, or was that masking?
It was my language to connect. I mean, I guess my goal is always to connect to the essential state of humanhood.
To plug into it?
In every person. But yeah, I think they got it. I don't know. Anyways, this one picks up a lot more emotionality, I noticed. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's more like I want to learn as many languages because I want to be able to just speak clearly to the center of what a human is, So if people feel comfortable, it's like I was watching. Oh, there's this movie that it apparently has terrible reviews. I don't know when it's come out, but it's called The Society of Magical Negroes, I think, and it's a cool premise because that whole idea of the magical Negro, comes from the idea that
the owl.
you have to make if as a black person in a predominantly white situation, you have to figure out a way to make yourself not a threat inside of the environment.
I mean, that's a tale as old as time, or a legend of Bagger Vance.
Oh my God, yeah, yes, the leg of Bagger Pants, yeah, or is Bagger Vance?
Bagger Vance.
Bagger Vance. Yes, yeah. I mean, it's like, but also, it doesn't have to be it's not just a black experience. It's an odd person experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone who wears thick glasses. It's the kid who was too skinny for too long. It's the kid who's too tall for too soon.
Check.
All the stuff. It's like we all have different ways of dealing with that. But sometimes when you're the most obvious, a skin color thing is it's so easy. It's so obvious.
How many languages do you speak?
I only speak 2. French and English.
French and English.
Mm-hmm.
You want to learn how to speak to as many people as you can to find out it's at the center, right? Mm-hmm. So you got French, you got English, you got black, you got all the other ones.
White, yeah.
Those are the main 4.
Yeah.
And then in that Venn diagram, what's at the center? What have you found?
Well, I mean, at the center is just a point of consciousness experiencing itself, essentially. All of us. We're all just pieces of consciousness experiencing ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so...
for the audio-only listeners, he's describing ego.
Yeah, ego. And what is it? Is it is it unhealthy? It's of course not unhealthy. But for me, it's like...
Wait, would you ask me about the ego? What is the ego?
Sure. What is the ego?
I don't know. Do put up a subtitle so you see that I said ID. And then when he said ego, put up the definition of ego, and then id, the definition of id.
Oh my gosh.
It works in post. It plays.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, post is my favorite form of Raisin Bran, so that makes sense.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think that they do it better than Kellogg's. Yeah.
Do you eat that?
Not anymore, but I used to.
Because of Trump.
Because of Trump, yeah. Because Trump. Yeah, because Trump. But, I mean, I love Trump. He's so cool.
Have you ever done music with him?
Not yet. I hope to never.
I have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Unrelated to Trump. Little badge.
Oh, what's
little Badger Vance?
Badger Vance? What's
Ben Glebe left this year once.
It's a Jewish?
Nope. I don't think.
Jewish law enforcement?
Nope.
Okay.
Star of David is... oh, that is a Star of David. Yeah. JLIE.
I know, totally.
Is enforcement with an E or an I?
It's
E, right?
N for no, it's to N. No, N. Wouldn't it be?
I think it's E.
It is E, isn't it?
Are you not good at spelling?
No.
That's what I'm connecting with.
Certain little things.
SCLT.
So weirdly, some words boom. I'm like, because it's weird. It's a weird spelling.
For example, toast. Could you spell toast?
Yeah, TROAST.
TOAST.
Whatever.
All right.
Anyways, so
I'll take, by the way, I just want to let you know something, because I will take responsibility for that loss in momentum just now. That is on me.
You know what? Life is ups and downs,
Yeah, if you're looking at it two-dimensionally. But what if you do this?
Whoa. It's like Google Maps. No one ever knows.
I saw a thing that you could use Google Maps in high definition, and you could find, as people know, any point of any place.
Yeah.
But then you could pull out and you could do it. It's rendered to a place to where you could now take establishing shots. And have you seen Limitless?
What?
Of course you have. You're Reggie fucking
I
Lentz.
love Limitless. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That's a dream.
It's a great movie.
It's such a great, and the series was good too.
I don't think I did not watch the series.
The series was decent. And he produced it. Bradley Cooper produced it.
Well, I've watched the movie enough times to have basically seen the show.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't seen the show.
Okay.
But that effect that they do, where when time, and it goes, through all these things.
Yeah.
You could do that with Google Maps now.
Oh my God.
And get all these establishing shots and do all these things, and it's pretty fucking wild, man.
It's been my dream because I think it was Jeff Hahn was the inventor of multi-touch that Apple used for the iPhone, the very first iPhone. And in his
Shout out to
presentation,
Jeff Hahn, by the way.
check Jeff Hahn. Jeff Hahn. He in his presentation he had a huge touch screen. It was like a huge tablet, and then it was projected, and he was like swimming through the data and like and like manifesting tools, like calling up digital tools and using those and manipulating them and moving. And it was like, I mean, I think he consulted for Minority Report.
It seemed like that's what it was.
And that shit, like, I love that idea of like swimming through data, like whatever you need, whether it's geographical or even your life. Like I was just talking to my friend. This is a quick aside, but like, so I just ordered the Apple Vision Pro, which I'm so excited about. I've been a huge VR guy forever, and have so far haven't been impressed, but I keep trying. But the idea of being able to re-experience actual memories that were recorded or
By
things.
re-experience, you just mean there's more dimensions.
Yeah, like
to it.
well, like for instance, one of the things that I would this is a basic example, but like one of the things I'm excited about doing with the Vision Pro is I have it on my head. You can record using the unit. So I want to record just my friends like hanging out at a party or whatever. I'm sitting in this exact position, looking around at everybody. Record for like a minute,
And then just live in that later.
and then just immediate replay it, but in full VR mode. Just imagine the time displacement because you're like it's an overlay of what actually just
Does
happened.
it record all around?
Yeah. Well, to a point, to a degree.
Do you think that is going to make pornography different, which might change your idea of mainstream porn sucking, which is on his shirt?
Yes.
That feels like I was rewatching Tropic Thunder, as I often do.
Yes.
And
That's a good one.
they talk about in it how the reason, I don't know if this is true or not, but VHS beat out Betamax was because the porn industry decided to
Yes.
go VHS.
Yes.
And wherever the porn industry goes, that's where mainstream goes. And there is something to, like, as an analogy, like tech goes where things could be militarized and
Yeah.
weaponized.
Yes.
So, if we're inventing it for this, then it could become something consumer based.
Yes.
And pornography kind of does a similar thing.
Yes.
And I'm not a huge porn guy. But it popped into my head.
Yeah.
That's gonna be wild for porn.
I think so because I think it's going to bring porn to the everyday person. Because you imagine like you're with your partner and you're both being consensual and you both have these devices on. You now have point of view perspective of
I
yourselves.
could be fucking myself.
You could also be doing that, which was in Strange Days.
Which is in what?
Strange Days.
I don't know it.
The movie Strange Days. It was Angela Bassett. It was one of the Fiennes. Maybe it was like Ray Fiennes or one of the Fiennes brothers was in it. This is the star, and it's about near future. There's a technology called wetware. It's like this device that fits onto your head, and it can record your memories and experiences in real time. And people are trading these little discs like for these experiences. But of course, people are doing
Like an SD card.
like an SD card. But they're trading these illegal memories, like someone murdering someone. Someone gets murdered in one, and that's what the whole thing is about. Is they're trying to like figure out like who recorded it.
That's dark.
And all that stuff, which was an interesting idea for this. But they also like you're experiencing someone else's point of view in real time.
I'm curious what it would feel like to watch Bon Jovi fuck me.
I mean, it would depend on the position, depend on if you had a mirror or not.
Well,
Because if it's dodgy style, then you're going to need a mirror.
what's that movie with Bon Jovi? Pay It Forward. Remember that movie?
Was he in that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's why I keep bringing
You're
him
like,
up.
he can act.
Yeah. So you get to record everything.
Yeah.
And then you get to live in it. And you know what I was thinking about pornography? I was
Yeah.
just thinking about like recording you with your partner.
Yes, that's what
But
I'm saying.
like that, yeah. Because like, now you do phones.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, suck my balls. Or, eat my
yeah.
balls,
Yeah,
whatever your
eat
thing
my-
is.
Yeah, or like hold them softly. or
Hold my
whatever.
balls, suck my balls, eat my balls.
Yeah.
But
Ouch.
now you get to be like this. Oh, suck my balls.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
like
through your eyes.
With the weird digital recreation of your eyes that it does. It's just like, suck my balls.
This is the one that I saw that Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg did, right? Did you see that?
Oh,
Where they're in the world, they were wearing
oh, really? Oh my God, that dude.
which one?
Friedman. He kind of irks me a little bit. Do you remember Chris Farley's interviewer guy? He'd be like, what's he reminds me it's like he's like real world Chris Farley, except for he's like way more knowledgeable about stuff.
Right, where he if there was a video game character, he put all the attributes on acknowledge.
Yes.
So not in the necessarily the funny column.
Yeah, no.
So to describe Lex Friedman as what the fuck just happened to me?
Chris Farley?
Thank you.
Yeah.
As Chris Farley
Yeah.
is asinine. But I understand what you're saying.
It's a similar because he's got this like kind of gentle, kind of quiet, like he's like slightly detached, but he is with what he wants to talk about, but he's slightly detached at the same time.
Right.
And
which is probably just how he is as a person, not an interviewer.
no, yeah, exactly. It definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's like, oh, I think of this will be my style. But every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, that's so, I can't not see it. I think of Chris Farley's interview.
That sounds like a fun game to be like, all right, like I'm going to name two people and you have to now pretend that they're so similar and validate it to your intelligence, you know?
Yeah.
Chris Farley, Lex Friedman. You would have slayed that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, Chris Farley, he's a legend. They're both legends. They're great. One's great at martial arts.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's actually where they share Lex Friedman.
Yeah,
and they're both.
That's where they cross.
They're both great martial artists.
Will Sasso is so funny in that movie. Do you remember that movie? Well,
kind of. I remember loving it. But what did Will Sasso?
Will Sasso was. He was. I just remember him. I think he had a mustache. I just remember the energy. He was a guy that was really.
Oh,
just like, and I don't remember if it was something about money. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember that. Chris Farley is a king.
Yeah.
And then to see this guy, Will Sasso, who at the time I knew of, I think from Mad TV, but I didn't really know him.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, before I understood, at least more than I do, I understood what I know now of comedy, just to be like, that guy's energy. I remember just thinking the energy. I just remember thinking his energy. That guy is so funny. I don't remember anything. As Maya Angelou says, we don't remember what people say or do. We just remember their energy from Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh, that's so good.
And from that movie, I was, and I've since become friends with Will.
Oh, sick.
But since that movie, I just remember that guy's energy, his energy, and Rob Riggle's energy.
Oh yeah.
There's something about it where it's just like,
yep.
It's different than what I was so attracted to in you, but it has a similar thing. Like your thing with your cadence and being so present, even though we have no idea what you're thinking, it just feels like you're here with us.
Yeah.
Like,
right. True.
Yeah.
I
connect so much to, and that energy. It's something about it where like you guys, either in your sense, literally don't have to say anything, or in theirs, I don't even remember what they're saying. It doesn't matter. There's just something.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like in a way, like for me, like Luke Wilson to a certain extent.
Sure.
It's like, it doesn't matter what movie he's in, what he's doing. He's always just Luke Wilson, and he's bringing the Luke Wilson energy, and it makes me feel very comfortable, and I'm just like, yeah, Luke Wilson.
Could I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
With that?
Yeah.
With that, I mean.
I thought there was a spotlight. Okay.
We'll just snap. Trust me.
Okay.
Snap. Thank you.
Oh wow, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a great post team in here with all the raisins.
You do, yeah, all the raisins, crispy wheats, man. Get me started. Okay, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, I could pimp you out with stuff if it's like improv style shit, or I don't know. I just want to I just want to hear something.
Okay. All right. Here we're gonna just plug in like an old school operator.
Cool.
Okay.
Could you keep your beats and slow the rhythm down?
No, this one doesn't allow me to.
There's no fucking good loopers out there, dude.
I know. I'm telling you. That's why I'm designing one with Teenage Engineering.
I guess I take that back, but I'm thinking of just Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah. No, that was a great one. That's actually a perfect looper.
Yeah. On the nose.
Oh man. No. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Brew, take one, thank you so much we fall. Yes and no, 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 no. Everywhere that you say, you got what you do, I don't know where. You're Scooby-Doo, yeah, Scooby-Doo, 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 slow motion.
Okay. Whoa, what was that? Oh, it finished the loop or
Yeah, I
something?
just told it to stop. Yeah.
Did you know how long it would take for it to stop?
Oh yeah, it's only one cycle. Yeah.
Fun. And you never want to put that stuff out. You don't record stuff from your shows and just put...
I should. I mean, I have a whole set that I just got from Fort Collins. That was a pretty good set. I just haven't done it. Like it's weird. It's like my management and even though I'm telling them like, oh, it'd be cool to like take the recordings from my shows and make it into a thing. Maybe find a record label. They're not really proactive in that way. So if I have an idea like that, it might be fleeting and I might not have the energy to continue building it to make it happen.
Ooh, I have a question.
But it could. Yeah.
That's something that you'll probably just have to do.
Yes.
It seems like that's you don't have the energy for that.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I just need like a person that
Right.
I can go, here's that idea. And I just say it once and they know that I want to do
a really
it.
great producer.
A producer,
partner.
right? So like a general producer, like, you know, I've like looked at people like that before in the past and I never seem to end up with anybody. But, you know, where I'm like, this is what I'd like to do. And they're like, okay, great, got it. And then they just kind of make it happen. And they're like, well, here's that thing you're talking about. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Well, let's put it out. Who
Yeah.
wants to release it?
Yeah, you want. That's the lottery.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's like, could somebody just take what I do and package it and make it perfect? And it's like, well, I'm paying people 20% for that. That's not really what they do. What do they do? Well, if somebody emails asking you, they'll forward it to you.
Yeah, totally. I know.
Dude, obviously.
I know.
But I do wonder if there's a part of you the same part of you that loves to improvise and not repeat.
Yeah.
Because you're so inspired is in order to do that other bullshit, which I also what's it called? It's such a discipline to like when you're not feeling motivated and inspired to still make this thing happen. Do you feel that you have a weakness in that area? Speaking for myself, I've had to develop even with especially with this podcast. Like it was so hard, and like I started to resent it and like doing everything by myself until I found this amazing team. Shout out to JonMichael and Tom to help with certain things. Where then there's only so much space to be creative, and then the other thing, and the other thing cannibalizes for some people maybe more than others. For me, a lot.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, unless I'm with like people that can really further the idea, I'm not the type of person to just really stay on something, you know, unless there's a definitive outcome to a project. Like if there's an expectation of a finished thing, then I can stay on it. But even then I work with people that can finish ideas for me, you know.
I'd like to ask you a question that maybe sounds leading, and it's a literal question I'm asking. That character trait of being so creative, but having it be almost mutually exclusive from the other side. Do you feel that obviously in the creative present way it services you, but do you feel there's ways where it does a disservice to you?
I mean, yeah, potentially, because you know some people are very
industrious. Like they'll just figure out how to constantly be releasing stuff, doing this or doing that to.
I'm not even thinking like in releasing stuff from like a business point.
Yeah.
Where I'm putting myself into this is I used to do a different set every single time.
Oh, I see.
For many reasons. I felt like I was lying by repeating it, or if it already worked, I did it already and moving on. And it was very hard to be present to repeat stuff because I always project that the audience knows everything I'm thinking. You know what I'm doing.
Sure,
here.
of course.
Almost to where like if I was going to have to do a set, I'd be like, I just want you to know I've done this joke before. Like, and then just do that. Do you not repeat stuff for that same type? Like, is that a same thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of that for sure. Yeah, it's also for myself, But yeah, it's
also for yourself.
Yeah, it's like I just don't want to repeat stuff. I want to figure out stuff that I'm working on. I end up repeating stuff definitely. If I'm on tour and but they're generalities. They're not specific things. Like
right.
If I'm talking about some form of technology, or I'm talking about like VR, or I'm talking about just like the way someone does a certain thing or something like that, I might repeat that idea, but it's not written or anything. So I'm just kind of speaking on a general thing that's on my mind. So that'll happen.
You're friends with Flula?
Yeah.
I just assume you are because of the Coney connection.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
And I had him on here, and we did so many bits at first and then got into serious stuff.
Yeah.
He said he's not a comedian. I don't mean he doesn't say not a stand-up comedian. I also don't know how much of this is what he's selling, but he doesn't see himself as a comedian, even though he does funny, and he's so funny.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as one thing over another? Because your music is, without any funny stuff, is unbelievable. And then you're so funny. Is there something that you prefer?
Nah, not really. I love music because when I'm in a serious music situation, it's really amazing, because like everyone's...
Could you give an example of what that means?
Just like singing a sincere song with like a group of musicians, there's nothing funny or ironic about it.
You have a great singing voice too.
Oh, thanks. I love singing. Yeah, I love singing. It's great. I love to be able to, play with musicians, but I don't, just based on where I am in life, it's rarer that I get to just like sit in on a jam session, or like I'm at a jam session, but the guys that are jamming are like, they're good, but they're not great listeners. So they're not really making the best music that could be made in that moment.
It's like joining a new improv team that you don't like.
Yes, exactly. 100%. You're just like,
I love the stage. But.
Yeah. And they're each funny. Like they're all funny, but they're like, as a team, it's not quite happening.
I heard you talking about that when you had a band, that they felt that way about you because you wanted to just do shit.
Yes. Yeah. I was just kind of riffing, and my band was just like, hey man, could you stop? Could you knock that off in between sets? Which I felt bad when I heard that, because I was like, oh, well, I thought I had your best interest in, at heart or whatever. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I get it. They're on stage and they don't have a mic and they can't stay.
How did they tell you? I've been in positions where I came into some awareness because people told me stuff that was hard for them to tell me.
Yeah.
But it took them a while to tell me. I was like, oh, why didn't you say something?
I know. Because people are fucking afraid of like hurting someone's feelings.
Yeah, I know the reason now, but still, I'm curious how that came into your awareness.
I think it was just like during a rehearsal, or like after a rehearsal. It wasn't on stage or anything, but like it was, maybe on the drive, from the thing or whatever, and just having, of the band, one of the band members, just say like, hey, just blah blah, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they were thinking it for a while. I think it was like me probably getting a little bit more comfortable over time, doing it more and more. And then they were just like, okay, we got to say something. So, yeah, I don't know. In those situations, I'm like, I get it. And that's why being a solo artist is much easier.
I feel that way in social situations now where when I'm in a certain mood and I'm just nonstop jokes and doing stuff. And I'm always aware, like, oh, is this too much for people? Mm-hmm. I'm also aware that they're not going to tell me. So I'll say things like, are we doing too many bits? Am I doing too many bits?
Yeah.
And
Some people,
never.
Some people still won't tell you.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, it's even asking.
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing to be able to read. That's why cadences are so fun and funny to me, because those I've started to understand. When people start,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I get it. Well, we can wrap up soon. We could wrap this up soon, and we will.
I'm very much like that. I'm very much like I'm always watching body language and behavior, and I'm like, was that too much? Okay, I'm gonna start to fade out now. I'm just gonna lay out on this stuff, or just change the subject and go like, what are you feeling right now? So that it gives them. I can get obviously if you're just constantly going all the time, like
snap one more time. You got to be even amount. You keep putting the spotlight on you. It's getting expensive. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I like to think that I know if I'm going too far, or whatever, or like tiring people out. But sometimes that's the idea, depending on the situation. Like if we're at a big party, especially like an industry
like
style party,
like walking a really energetic dog to like tire him out a little so everyone could relax.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, no. In the case of like a kind of like a industry party or something like that, I'm doing it because I'm tired of everybody being kind of, I don't know, lethargic, and just kind of opportunistic and like, oh, who's that over there? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, we all do some version of it if you're in the industry and you see like someone that you like, an actor that you like. Of course, you're excited about it, but not that I don't. But there are definitely games that people are like angling for, like, oh, that person. Oh, I need to get in and talk with that person, and that's, I guess, part of the industry. But for me, when you're at a party and they've gone to the trouble of hiring a DJ and like no one's on the dance floor, it's like just fucking have a good time, get out there with the people and just be silly and say dumb shit and like fuck up energy in a playful way, and so I do like to do that. Sometimes I know that's too much, but I'm doing it on purpose.
What's the energy trick for you, or is it adrenaline, or is it? I guess I don't need to make a multiple choice. When you're just chill, and then it's go time, and it's not chill,
right? Well, that's usually how my shows are. Like I'm very chill right before the show. I'm talking to someone about some random shit, and I'm like side stage or whatever, and then I hear like, please welcome the stage, Reggie. So we're like, oh, okay, I'll see it. I'll talk about that later, and then I go out.
And what happens to your body?
I don't know. Nothing too crazy. I just kind of go out there.
I don't mean like, do you grow a new arm?
Yeah, no.
But like,
I become the Hulk.
Do you then start to feel like pumped up, or is it that you're still chill, you're just exuding something different?
I mean, I think I'm definitely excited to get on stage, and when I hear my name, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go on stage. I like there's definitely an elevation in energy, but it doesn't feel like crazy or anything. It just feels like, oh, this is a slightly different way of being, because I still have to be amenable to the ideas that are coming in during the show. So I can't be like too hyped, unless I come out that way as a bit,
Do you want to close this out with me? By with some spoken word.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we either have you make a beat, should I put on a beat, or should we do it a cappella?
I could probably make a beat of some sort.
YouTube won't get mad at me for that.
No, they won't. YouTube, I guess. That's the one good thing about YouTube is, they can't fight against originality. So that's good.
That's good merch. I tried something with a friend a while ago and it didn't work out well. I'm not sure if it would, but I feel like you'd be good at it. To read stuff and try and have it rhyme.
Okay. That makes sense.
Try something there.
I fucked up. I have to make it longer. See, this is why this is not the perfect looper. It's like you should be able to do an overlay at any length that you want, independent of whatever you first laid down.
I've been saying that for weeks.
That's what I've been saying.
Well, what's keeping you from getting this thing made? You know what I think you need?
What?
The perfect producing partner.
Oh, I do. I need the perfect producing partner.
I have a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Look between your legs. This is the... you know what this is, right? Keep it as is.
Yeah.
I don't remember the words, but... Do roads collide, rival nations. From Rocky.
Oh.
It's a primitive class. Fading is a frustration. Do you know that song?
No.
Two roads of hope
From Rocky?
against all hope. Rocky 4.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so much at stake. Seems our freedom's up against the ropes.
Oh, is that a...
I don't know if we could lay it over, but
it's a band that I forget the band. I know the band.
it's not Survivor, is it? Because they do a few songs.
It's not.
in there.
I don't think it's Survivor. It might be. It sounds like almost like. What the fuck? Not Iron Maiden. They were like a Scorpions.
Oh.
Maybe. Oops.
So I want to be able to. I don't know if this is gonna work out, but I want to read a line or a segment from the book, and then you close it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we could switch.
Yeah, totally.
Ooh, fun. I walked into the dim and dusty room.
Oh, are we trading? I'm just listening to you.
Oh yeah, well maybe I'll yes, that's gonna be tough. That's too quick then, huh?
I was just like, yeah, what? And then what?
Okay, yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I walked into the dim and dusty room, eyes slowly growing accustomed to the low light. It was the middle, to be clear. I have moved to new topics, no longer talking about Jim and Thomas, Dungeons and Dragons. I know, potentially jarring transitions, because it could be theoretically dimming. Dusty room in the game, Dungeons and Dragons are proverbially in John Thomas's soul. I told you, you know, like that shit.
I got
but
you.
like you,
Like,
I stop and you.
okay,
continue.
yeah, sure. Let's try it.
But also,
yeah.
this book reads well.
You know, it does. It does. It's sounding really
Anyway,
good.
I'm in the dim and dusty room.
And everybody knows that I ain't a broom.
Middle school daytime.
Everything according to what it should rhyme.
Ooh. No, I was thinking. I've been watching Suits, and he has everything memorized. I'm like, you don't know. You don't remember everything.
No, I don't.
Will you do one? Will you do a paragraph?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, I understand that I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm like my parents are rich. And they like there's people that I'm a fan of that work for them,
Yeah.
and like they're like, hey, you got to go do my son's thing and play his little games. So I understand I'm holding you hostage with this, but like the weed, I think it just kicked in, and I just want to play a little, you know.
The Ricky Schroeder, we get it. Here we go. I looked around the instrument room, took a moment to take it all in. I felt like a giant cave. I've always loved caves. There's something about that closed-in feeling. It's somehow both crazy and mysterious, sheltered and surreal all at the same time. This room had exactly that vibe and piled everywhere like the riches of Aladdin's lamp, where all the old instruments, the trumpet, the sax, the cymbals, the bass drum, passed from one generation of school kids to the next, all lying about in a clutter, barely organized, waiting for their next temporary owner to lug them home on the bus. Then I saw it, the violin. Yeah.
A few years back, visited Green Bay, Wisconsin, emerged from its spotless, blind Midwestern airport, beefy, mustached cab driver cheekily asked, like some character from Fargo, you gonna go check out Lambeau Field? You don't wanna miss it. Pretty much only things worth seeing around here. You know what would be cool?
What?
If you, for your audiobook, did it like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, it still
Do you
could
need the perfect producer?
Still could happen. I need a perfect producer. Yeah. Still need it. This will sound weird, but my instinct didn't have anything to do with music per se. Simply holding the violin in my hands had a visceral, almost overwhelming impact on me. The curve of the wood against my skin, the smell of the rosin, the texture of the horsehair on the bow, even the smoothness of the velvet cloth that covered the violin while it was in the case. That old, slightly damaged instrument engaged every one of my senses. My love affair only continued when my mom took me to a small music store outside Great Falls to buy my very own violin. One I wouldn't have to share with other students. The shop was run by a Scandinavian luthier. That's fancy talk for a talented guy who makes violins and guitars. I marveled at his craftsmanship, the scrolls carved to look like dragons' heads at the ends of the violin's necks. The special strings, hey man, he added them under the fingerboards that resonated with a sympathetic vibration as you played different notes. Different notes.
He blinded me with science. One of the most seminal and transformative I want to read yours. I just have in my head that yours is going to be more of the rhythm. Although solo is great. Check out solo.
No, I love you, Ray.
Reggie, will you marry me? I was 20 years old. This was the only second time I've been in love. Only second girlfriend I've ever had. Had no idea where I would be 3 years from now, or even 3 weeks. I was living in the moment, improvising life, going wherever wanted to go, doing whatever wanted to do. Happy working. I was Seattle. So you got engaged at 20, huh? And you had to share a violin when you were young.
Yeah, that was basically it. Yeah, it was a fun experience. It's cool to be asked, for your first time with the encounter of marriage. It's like nice to have that feeling of like, oh wow, this is cool. Like she's asking me. Like that's so sexy, so hot. It was great.
Do you think that's a necessary thing for you now?
If I were to get married, that the woman has to ask me? Maybe, sure.
I do a bit about how there's this, in most heterosexual relationships, there's this kind of unwritten rule where it's the guy supposed to initiate first.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, no, that is an unwritten rule. Well, actually, it's a very written rule. It's been written about over and over again.
Yeah, if you check out Soul Boom, which I advise.
Soul
talk
Boom.
About women kissing girls.
Yeah.
I think you should do that, dude. I think you should do your book on tape like that.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. That'd be fun. That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe I will. That would be good.
I think that would be so cool. Or at least to have that as another option, which, by the way, is, so much fucking work to do.
Oh, yeah. It's 4 days. I could do excerpts or something like that.
And also, if I don't know how this works or stuff, but to have the option of taking the beat out at any moment, so just to hear you doing it. Speaking in a certain rhythm.
Yes, I love that.
Have you seen clips of multicams? Friends is the one I've seen the most, where they take out the live studio audience.
Of which?
But I feel like I'm holding you hostage here. I'll let you go in a second, but I have to pull this up. You've never seen a clip of Friends?
I've only Friends. No, I have not. That's a brilliant idea.
It's
God damn, that's gonna be good.
It's brilliant.
It's kind of like the opposite of Shreds.
What is that?
It's like the one where they like replace all the instruments on stage, like a live performance with like really terrible bullshit. Or the latest one I posted of Billie Eilish. she's like. This is so good. I lose it.
This is where people comment. Get YouTube.
Oh yeah, live, I was just gonna say get premium, man. What the hell are you doing?
Waitress. I'm starving. It's a buffet, man.
Here's where I win all my money back.
I gotta talk to you.
Sure. What's up?
Isn't that wild?
Monica and I almost got married last night.
Oh my God.
That's huge. Hey.
I love it.
Why wasn't I invited? just don't think that Monica and I
Oh,
are ready
that
to
was
get
like a
married.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I can't. I don't know that
I'll
one.
tell
If that's one with his doesn't sound like there's tons of jokes,
Rachel
but
coming out of that chapel was like a wake-up call that Monica and I are moving so fast, you know, and
it reads more like a
how do I
soap
tell her
opera.
without question?
yeah, I mean the ped cameras, the drama.
Yeah.
She's not marriage material.
It's like if a soap opera. That's actually an interesting feel because if a soap opera were written
Girls say it
like
to me all the time.
a live taped multicam,
If she's anything like me, she's just going to be
there's
relieved.
something kind of interesting there.
Yeah, you know, there would be fun genre parody to do. You know, some like shows do a musical episode.
Yeah.
But to have a soap opera do a multicam episode.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, it'd be great but no laugh track. I mean, that's brilliant.
I think with laugh track.
Oh, really?
But it being soap opera. So I guess the bit would be you like if because a soap opera wouldn't do this. The bit would be we take a script from a soap.
Oh, I see.
And then we
Make
cast
it into a
and
multicam?
direct it like a multicam.
I got you. Well, if you get a chance, that reminds me. I was in. I had this idea of being in a soap opera, but being in every shot. And the Late Late Show let me do that with the Bold and the Beautiful that shoots below us. And so I just went down one day in the early part of the afternoon, and I went in, and they just filmed their normal thing, right? But they put me in every shot of the episode. So there's
You in the background of all of it?
Yeah, I'm in it. Sometimes I'll just like come up to the characters and just like put my arms around them or whatever, or I'm just going upstairs with a bunch of dishes and I just trip up the stairs.
great.
And so there's like an alternate version. Like you could see the regular episode, but then you can see like the alternate
I thought you
version
made it in.
with me in every shot. I mean, the Bold and Beautiful released it online, but
Could I find it to put up a clip?
yeah, it's
All right.
yeah. I think it's just called The Bold and Beautiful Reggie Watson Every Shot. Something like that.
That's fun.
But it was really great, and it was just improvised, and they had of course the actors had such a fun time because it's not their usual thing. It's like when you have like your extra credit visitor for your class or something.
Did you
like
watch that show? Is that why that?
No, not at all. I just wanted to be on a soap opera, like a scripted show. Originally, I wanted to try to do it with as many things as possible. Like if I know J.J. Abrams, so I was like, well, if you're making a film that you're really in control of, like from production on down to direction or whatever, it'll be easier for him to just say yes. But I just want to like be in like a quarter of a movie where you get the shot that you get but you just do it one more time, and except for with me in it, and I only get one shot, so it's like we just add that in and then you just composite that together like the movie, but there's an alternate version where I'm in most of the shots.
I've pitched this in a different way to I'm on a TV show where I want to do just with one take per setup, which is not going to add any time. We don't add any new setups.
Yeah.
One take where I want to play every character, or
That's
I
so sick.
just do this just so once. So then we could just put it to no performance notes, no second takes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be any extra. I'll
No,
put it together.
yep.
And then he laughed. He goes, "Yeah, that would be funny, but they would never let us do that." And I'm like, "Who won't let you do that?"
Yeah.
It's an extra 4 minutes a day.
I know. That's how. I mean, yeah, because you thought about like how
But
little
to do
it
it
would
in a
impact.
J.J. Abrams movie
Could
or
you imagine
something.
that, like a major motion picture?
Yeah, with
but
all
then,
the
like,
production values there.
all of it. Yeah, and they don't have to do it. There's nothing they have to do. It's like they just do one extra take with me in it, and whether I'm lit badly or not or whatever, that it doesn't matter. That's just the take.
Yeah.
and then you move on. And I think that there's just something fascinating because you can kind of double the value of a film, right? Depending on what the film's about. But like if it's kind of like a weird film or something like that, that would be kind of. People are like, really? There's an alternate version where Reggie Watson is in every shot.
I heard that the Anchorman 2, they didn't film anything for it, but it was, I don't know if this is true, but Anna McKay had to cut so much stuff out that they just pieced together a separate movie.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true, but I've heard
true.
that from in multiple places.
I hope that's true because that's like
and they just built a movie out of it.
that just makes so much sense to me. It's like if you've got that much stuff, then might as well just use it.
Or it might not be Anchorman 2. There might be like another Anchorman something, kind of like what you're saying, but not for that thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like a 1.5. I think there's a Anchorman, there's another hour plus movie that was some cut footage.
Oh, like they just released an extended version or something?
It was none of the scenes from the other one was in this one.
Oh, I got you.
It was like side quest stuff that they
would
pieced
be
together.
so cool. I love stuff like that. I love like You know, I don't like necessarily what Disney's doing, like with like all the Marvel phase 1, phase 2, or whatever. It's all boring now as fuck. But what I did enjoy is the transmedia aspect of it. Like you see a character in the background running down a hallway.
Pixar does that a lot.
And then like, oh, that's now there's a whole series about that character that you saw for like 2 seconds in this movie now is its own thing. Or it turns into a graphic novel, or it turns into a whatever, video game or something. So I like that transmedia approach to like things being interconnected, because I just find that fascinating when you're like, oh, I want to see another version of this thing that is presented so
It's very
strongly.
gamer mentality.
Totally.
Like just being able to take attributes and taking things from different either games or players or things and building it into a world.
Yeah.
Have you seen, I've noticed it on my own, and then I saw somebody put together, I think it was a TikTok, if I could find, I'll put it up, of Pixar, of all the movies that you see Nemo in a movie before and they're planting these seeds.
Oh, no.
Well, it's cool.
I want to see that. Can you send that to me?
I will.
Yeah.
And then my last question to you was, you said something on Conan's podcast that made me feel like you're a big fan of Sister Act 2. Did I read that right?
No.
All right.
No.
Reggie, thank you so much for coming over, dude.
My absolute pleasure.
You said if you wake up and all you could think about is bits, well, then you got to be doing bits.
Yeah.
And Sister Mary Clarence, I'm sorry, Whoopi Goldberg,
Yes.
says if you wake up, she's like, don't you mock the Ice Capades? They were very cool. If you wake up and all you could think about is singing, then you should be a singer, girl. And you said it in the same way.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Oh, I'm glad I got to tap into some Goldberg.
A little Whoopi there. Dude, let me take a Polaroid of you.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Roid me.
Well, we've already, we have the book and everything is in the description. We even made a nice fancy lower third, but anything else you want to plug?
If this comes out in time, I'm shooting a comedy special in March. I think March 7th.
Yeah, this will be coming out right around when you're filming it.
Oh, okay.
But probably before. Where?
It's at the Regent. Yeah, and it's takes place in 1998. So whoever gets tickets, they have to kind of dress like in that time period.
Fucking great idea, dude.
Yeah.
Great. And is your material stuff from then?
Yeah, it'll be Windows 98 and
fantastic.
all the shit. Clippy.
Are you going to come out like Bill Gates did?
Oh my God!
Dance?
I hope not. No, there's gonna be.
That's fun, man. Good for you.
It's gonna be fun. I think.
Where's it gonna go?
This platform called Veeps, which was started by the two twin brothers, or the two twins in Good
Social
Charlotte.
Network? Oh.
Same thing. They had not the Winklevoss. This is Good Charlotte. There's two twins. Apparently, I don't know their music that well, so I just know the band. I'm like, Good Charlotte, but there's twins in it, and then they started this platform called Veeps, which is super artist friendly. It's crazy. Like the deals that they give are like.
And they're producing this then.
They're producing it, yeah, and it's going to be released solely on their platform.
Right. And you've written your act for your 1998 act already, or is it something you?
No, it's not written. I just improvise it like all my specials. But I just do two tapes. I do one at 7, one at 9, and then we composite it together.
And you could take all the other parts and make a separate movie.
That's
from it.
so true. We could make a separate.
All right, dude. Let me get a Polaroid, and I'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much. Theme music.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop.